Make sure you listen to my daddy's podcast right now. It's the best show in the world.
B-O-S-S. Money on my mind, double up in my memory bank. I could give a fuck what my enemies think. All this pressure on me feel like Bron. You groupies riding dick, need some pom-pom. You ain't G, you goofy. Tampon. Any ass niggas on my iPhone. Talking shit on my line, but it ain't bowing on. Funny talk, I can't hear you, you ain't got none. All this gold on me, look like I'm Mr. T. I be OC grinding like I'm Pusha T. Said I was bald from the hood, but I be run away. Cause of these bars in my hood, these niggas work for me. All the pressure on a nigga feel like Bron. Ain't no love for you niggas, yeah, that's long gone. Louis pull up in the V, that's the Armstrong. Snatch your bitches out of drugs, feeling in my Sean.
Yeah. And that song right there was Bron by the homie Boss Man. This is Cards Face Up Podcast, episode number 18. I am your host, Mr. Ty Hill. Along with me, I have some of my favorite people, Miss Rachel, Miss Essence, and Mr. Dante. How are y'all doing today?
Hey.
Magnificent.
I'm getting better with that intro. You see me? I was flowing just now. Y'all, that shit sounded right once, because half of the time I'm trying to read the damn page and everything, because I'm always all over the place. But y'all good? How y'all week been?
Spend a lot of money. I think spending money is overrated. I'm not a fan of it.
It is overrated.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you investing in right now? Prostitution?
I diversify my portfolio. So,
okay.
prostitution, a few RC cars, maybe a plane, a drone, all that stuff. Weed dispensaries.
Yes.
Oh wow. The weed, the marijuana, the ganja.
It's a worthwhile experience for those that have tried it. I actually haven't tried it.
You've never tried it?
Never. In all my 25 years.
In all of them, right?
Let's try it,
okay?
Yeah.
And we'll see how 2020 wind up. I'm supposed to drink my first bottle of wine by the end of the year. So I might as well get weeded up too. Just do everything.
Wait a minute, hold on. You mean first bottle of wine as in you've never drank wine before, or you've never drank a whole bottle of wine before? You gotta be specific.
I've never purchased wine. I've never drank wine.
Oh wow.
Intentionally.
Somebody slipped it in your drink.
When I was a kid, it'd be like New Year's, my mother would let me have a sip of champagne. Like, okay, you kid, there you go, a sip. So of course, if you give a kid a sip, then anytime you turn your back, they're gonna walk around taking cups.
Mm-hmm.
So I sipped a lot of cups. Not all of it was champagne.
Okay.
That's why you started way too early. You probably was 7 on a bottle.
No. It was just that those couple of times, those couple of years.
So and marijuana might be one of those things that you try down the road?
No. Well, it may be.
What about, since we was talking about, what you're investing in, would you ever invest inside of a marijuana dispensary? Mm-hmm.
It's a good business. It's a
very good,
reasonable
very
thing
lucrative.
to do.
And it's a cash business. It's not.
Yeah.
It's all cash.
I mean,
it is all cash. They don't.
Everything?
Do they have, what's the name? Because if it's going off, even if it goes off insurance, that still comes through straight cash because it's guaranteed money, right?
Yeah.
You can't get like fake insurance, right? And they don't pay you.
Well, some of the things they say is that the banks won't allow you. Some of the banks, depending on the state you're in, won't handle money from a marijuana business because it's considered illegal on different levels. So even if you can on for the city level, you can't do it federally or something like that.
Yeah, you can't do it federally.
Right. So you can't actually, you got to handle your money your own way.
On your own. Because they actually can shut them down in the states where it's not, right? Because it's like, that's like a Fed charge.
Yeah. And of course, if you got a federal charge for having sold marijuana, you can't legally now sell marijuana, which is crazy.
Yeah, which is so crazy.
Think you're good at it.
Which is so crazy. All of the people sitting down because they were selling weed, and now it's legal. Now it's becoming legal.
And now the people that lobby,
I have a problem.
That lobby for it to be stiffer charges are now saying, "Okay, I'm gonna open up a business," and they can do it.
Exactly.
They were the first ones holding the torches. ready to burn down all, arrest them, lock them up, put them on the news.
Yeah, because I think
the majority of them are black.
Definitely. What's the name went through that as far as not being able to deal with it after he came home from his marijuana charge. Kareem Biggs Burke from Rockefeller, the third partner with that. Biggs, so it was Dame Dash, Jay-Z, and Biggs. Yo caught a conspiracy to distribute marijuana. I think it was like 2012, 2013, and he sat down for a few years for that. But when he came home, marijuana is now legal. And I believe, if I remember his story correctly, he was speaking on, he actually just connected somebody with somebody, and they gave him a conspiracy to distribute. And he was actually already in the workings of trying to get marijuana together and stuff like that, as far as the marijuana being able to have the dispensaries and stuff, because back then it was only legal in certain states and shit like that. But whatever. So basically, I know I seen him speak on not being able to open one legally now, which is bullshit, like y'all said, because if it's legal now, why not? That means whatever it is that y'all felt as though was wrong with it, you don't feel like it is wrong no more. So why aren't y'all erasing those charges off of people? You feel me? Like if tomorrow stealing isn't a fucking crime anymore, then everybody that's arrested for stealing should be fucking let go. Those charges should be erased. Everything dealing with it, you feel me? And of course, they're never going to give money back on some shit like that. But damn, get them people their life back, because
freedom, right?
Yeah, it's freedom in it. It's money in it. Like, get them people their shit back, because I find it to be stupid. I think it's we know why it was illegal. Anything they couldn't tax, they're gonna make it legal, just like they did alcohol. You feel me? They're gonna make it like it's a crime to do it and all of that bullshit. But it's just about the tax situation, if you ask me.
Right.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I don't even smoke.
I'm all for it. It's crazy because it definitely has medicinal properties, and they give it out, for patients to take as medication, but then you don't want people doing it. But then you can go out and drink alcohol when you're 21, and we know alcohol is all the way unhealthy. It's not anything healthy, but it's no health in alcohol at all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or cigarettes.
I ain't gonna lie.
Or cigarettes, right.
That's the worst. You feel me? Shit.
Not everybody gonna go ahead.
That's a whole nother addiction. That shit might be worse than a crack addiction. Cause my motherfucking habit for cigarettes at one point, I remember leaving out the house 2, 3, 4 in the morning just to go get a cigarette. So
wow,
that shit, and I still to this day I haven't had a cigarette in maybe, I'm gonna say, about 5, 6 years, an actual cigarette.
I always thought that was funny how
I still miss it.
They can smoke cigarettes, see a stranger on the street, take a few puffs, but then say, well, I ain't gonna eat out of such and such house because they not clean, or I don't go to every restaurant because they ain't clean. But you just smoked on the street a cigarette.
Yes.
Dude, we used to sit in the club, and all of y'all done been in the clubs, you feel me? And especially whether it is you smoke weed or whatever you smoke, you feel me, passing it around and shit. Of course, Corona is gonna change a lot of shit, how people move and stuff. But prior to that, man, I remember being in the club, you walk, hit that, all that type of shit. Now, I was one of those dudes that try to have my cigarette first, but it was sometimes that I had to be on the back end of that cigarette. So, like I said, we talking about addiction. Shit that should be illegal. I still, after 5, 6 years of no cigarettes, I still see somebody with a cigarette and get like, shit looks good. Like,
start scratching.
You still want to do it? That's interesting.
Because I enjoyed it. It wasn't. It's like probably people feel about weed and stuff. I enjoyed it. It has its health things, but shit, we know it's people that smoke forever that live to be 100. So, and it's people that never smoked before that died from problems that smokers usually do. So again, none of this shit. We are not promoting any of this stuff. Bad habits, weed, none of that stuff. We're just talking about what we would want to do. Right. Exactly. Now, me personally,
do your own due diligence and do your own thing responsibly, whatever fits you.
Right. Me personally, when I smoked a lot of weed. I started smoking at 13. My mother passed when I was 13. It was the day she was buried was the first night I got high. And from that point on, I smoked very, very heavy. And I haven't smoked in years. Me personally, I fucking wish I could smoke now. Like, I would love to see what this new cannabis is about. Like, this shit is jarred. You know how much bad shit I used to smoke? Come on now.
Get in your car when you're driving down the street. Like,
we were smoking all types of shit that probably wasn't. Yo. Like, yo, I remember, like, when we had to literally pull sticks and seeds out of weed. Like, you feel me? You used to have a whole baggie of seeds and shit, thinking that you was gonna grow a garden of weed. Like, this shit that they smoking now, probably some good shit. So I'm all for it. Like, I wish, I'm telling you, I wish. I can't because of the way I'm working, but give me a job that don't care.
See, that's why I told you come work with the school district. When they don't
understand why they can't people smoke weed. It's other stuff that you need to care about, not people smoking weed now.
Every teacher used to be high.
Listen.
Shit, why wouldn't they be? That's a lot of stress dealing with them kids that don't listen at home, getting them to sit down, getting them to follow directions. People addicted to stuff for a reason.
When I was teaching, yo, I swear that was the first place I ever learned that people are very good with fucking hiding high, like hiding the smell of weed. Weed is hard to hide, like the smell of it. And that was the first place I learned, like, wow, you can really smoke a lot of weed and not smell like weed. That shit was amazing to me. That's when I first learned about really people do a lot of non-tobacco usage of weed, whereas though, you know, I come from the era of, you know, we roll it up in blunts and our parents would tie paper, shit like that. Man, they doing, they got shit that don't
paper. Keep it as healthy as you can outside of the smoke being in your lungs.
You can do the tinctures, you can do the drops.
Oh yeah, that stuff. I want to be, man, look, it's people out here now. Look, y'all getting me excited again. Look, it's people out here now that cook their food.
It's an exciting experience.
THC and all that stuff. Like, I got homies that do the butters, and I'm sure I'm not calling them the right names and shit. You feel me? I'm very far disconnected, but I be looking and mesmerized by what they be talking about. Yeah, I just put a little spoonful or cook it up inside my bacon in the morning.
Your butter.
What? You eat bacon like that?
Yes, make your butter.
Listen, you can have weed everything these days.
Yeah, what is it? Infused, right? That's what they call that stuff.
Yeah, infused wine, everything.
There's a restaurant that has a whole infused weed.
Infused wine.
With one cup.
And it's
stuff. These sound like people
because wine is get you calm, and then weed gets you calm, so it's just like a very calming experience.
You just turned into a Marion and shit. You just turned into a Marion, like.
Weed is.
Yo,
that's why they need to let them people free them people, because y'all knew what y'all was doing. There ain't no problems with no weed. Y'all was just trying to make some money off it.
Real talk. Now they can tax that shit. They got y'all asses. So I'm all for the marijuana. You feel me? Hey Tay, when you ready to have that bottle of wine, we should all do it together. You feel me?
Yes.
Yeah. Corona's still real. So
honestly, Tay, you nerdy drink.
You out there? You out there risking life with deers and shit? You good?
Yeah. How about it? I try to keep my distance, but they stand on my property like they belong, and I don't.
They looking at you.
They was there first. They was there first.
I mean, the house from 1920, so I guess, they were here before it, but it's been 100 years.
Right. Look, I got a question for y'all, right? So y'all remember a few years ago, you feel me, the big thing of how to get money, like in life. Anytime you had a certain problem, it was like, start a GoFundMe page. Y'all remember that shit? Like everything was GoFundMe. And I seen so much negative stuff with GoFundMe. I never really did any type of sending people money through that shit, because it was like, people was getting a bunch of money, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Then you find out their whole cause was bullshit, all of that stuff, right?
That's why.
But all of us is on social media, and it seems like the new way of asking for money is cash at me. I need help for this. Can everybody cash at me? I'm trying to get this. Can y'all cash at me? If all my friends on this page that I got XYZ amount of numbers of friends send me $1, then I'll have the money to do this. How y'all feel about that shit?
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. I know that some people take advantage, but you give from the heart. So once you give whatever.
I ain't mad. Get your bread. Do whatever you got to do. As long as you ain't doing anything harmful to somebody else, I don't have a problem with it. And I just gave some money to somebody's GoFundMe the other day. Somebody died. I don't know who it was, but whether they were lying or not, I did that because I wanted to.
Yeah.
Get from the
you
heart.
might see him online tomorrow asking for something else.
They might be alive tomorrow. They may not even be there. Guess what? I did it for my heart.
But they're gone today. That's all that matters.
Right. They might show up tomorrow.
Where does your heart and your mind like conflict at? Because that's where I'm at with it. Like I be looking at some people like, nigga, I just seen you out partying 2 nights ago. I'm not giving to your Cash App today. You know, and it's different because I've posted before. I've posted on social media about a nonprofit I had for my students that I was gonna do, but I never did it. But I told people, hey, would y'all be willing to? And I think those type of things, when I know it's positive energy and things of that sort, but I can't really give to certain people when I know what they do throughout life. And again, giving this from your heart, so I feel y'all on all that shit. But when I know, if I know you fucking drink liquor all fucking day, look, buddy, I ain't fucking helping you with your liquor habit. That's personal, and you should get your money for that shit. Like, and again, maybe I'm looking too deep, but I'm just not for it. I look at that shit like virtual panhandling. Like, y'all niggas about as bad as
virtual panhandling.
Well,
that shit is like it's about as bad as
what it is, girl.
It is.
It is in a way.
Virtual panhandling. It's so much easier though. You ain't got to go up to the cars no more.
Yes.
It's safer.
That's exactly what it is.
It's definitely safer. But you got to think about it like this. Everybody gives to different causes, right? So when people say, oh, I need money for rent, I'm not helping you with that. I don't give for that. If somebody says, oh, I just had a baby, you know what I mean? Like if it's something that is personal to me, I'll give to that, but I don't give to everything and everybody. Like when people post and say, oh, it's my birthday, cash at me. No, I'm not cash at me.
I ain't giving to that shit.
I'm not giving to that.
But see,
I do raise stuff for people though.
I do too.
You got to look at it in relative context. So if the person was standing in front of you and said, hey, D, can I get $50? There's no damn way I'm giving hardly anybody I know $50. I'm real cheap. But for some reason, people get on Cash App, and I don't know if it's because, or they see it online and they think of the request as being more legitimate. Like, okay, they must really need it because they own it. Not realizing, no, they really want it. That's why they got on there. It's not that they necessarily need it. Now, sometimes they do. But then sometimes it's just, oh, this is a good way. Anybody will send money through Cash App if I tell them I need it under this way. And that's what it is. It adds some legitimacy to it. But if you stand in front of me and you ask me, and I would tell you, no, it's still gonna be a no for me.
I gotta see if I know what your habits is, there's certain shit like, all right, so if I know that you ball out every day and it's this, that, and another, and I see you on this and you down at people, it's not a positive person. I just can't. Certain shit I just can't give to. I got homeboys that I'm literally just not giving to your cause. It doesn't mean enough to me, and I don't think it means enough to you. You feel me? Because just yesterday you was up and you was a whole different person. And keep in mind, most of Americans is a check away from being down.
Social media begging for money like that.
I didn't know. That shit.
Because I only been back on here for like a month and a half, and I only go on there for my business page. I didn't know people really was doing it like that.
But
that shit is the birthday thing that Essence just spoke of is real big. Oh, it's my birthday.
Wait a minute, my birthday next Wednesday after next. What I'm supposed to say in this bio?
That's what you say. It's my birthday. If everybody send me $1, or think about it. Facebook, your max is what, 5,000 friends. You feel me? If you got 5,000 friends, send you $1. You feel me? That's $5,000.
$1 because they think as $1 is, oh, I'm better than $1.
But where does pride stick in? And then I know pride ain't supposed to be a big thing in life. You know, they say pride is right before self-destruction. That's why they put their posts up
and they get their money because it ain't a thing. Guess what?
I don't think
when I woke up, I had $50 when I went to bed because I posted my post. Now I got $950.
Right.
It's like fucking
one video.
Right, and it's
check
like
this out.
So
if y'all see me posting that shit, send me some fucking money because I'm doing very, very, very bad. If I'm asking for money for personal self, send me some money because I'm doing bad. Call me. I might be on a fucking ledge because my pride is way too fucking high to ask for some shit for person. For me now, again, like Essence was saying, she does events. Does stuff for stuff. I post stuff for like single mothers, families, shit like fundraiser stuff all the time. It's nothing for me. People send me money every Christmas to buy gifts because there's a lot of people don't want to do. You know, I might have a book pack drive or a coat drive. They don't want to go get it themselves. They'll send the money. And every year I'm sending them receipts. I'm sending them pictures. I don't want not a dime of your shit at all. Not that I'm too good. It's like,
nah, I can't.
I'm just a man. Look, I'm gonna go get it.
I'm a hustle.
And if I'm doing that bad, there's another way out here. God damn, I'm not getting on social media. Can y'all help me? Can y'all help me? I guess it depends.
I ain't doing it, but I'm not mad at them because guess what? They made more money in a damn hour than I done made.
Shit, I be saying that about the little guys at the corner that they be hating on.
That's
Shit,
you think what I was just talking about.
Man, I'm gonna still stop a block down the street though. I'm still gonna stop early
now,
before I get to your light.
The thing about that, like you said, this is virtual panhandling. They doing this from the comfort. I'm just literally sitting right here typing and asking y'all for money, and I'm making out. That's different than me being outside and talking about, let me wash your windows. But I remember back when GoFundMe had first came out, I would like go through the GoFundMes, and I will say, like in the Black community, we have dealt with so much scamming, so much bullshit, so much lies, so much we can't trust people that when people put up GoFundMes and stuff, we are very like we question it and we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I was going to look at other, GoFundMes. Them GoFundMes be lit in the other communities, okay? I think they just be pouring right in. They don't care if you lying or not.
Yeah.
Well, it's the idea that they wouldn't put this up if it wasn't serious. But see, that's the thing about I always refer to it as wolves. The people that are comfortable breaking social norms and destroying whatever what we consider to be self-respect for themselves. It doesn't matter. It's get the money. So if I got to tell you that my child's in the hospital, if I got to tell you that I got a birthday every 6 months, you know what I mean? If I got to come up with a few aliases and send out some letters for a scam, if the money is coming in, that's all that matters. And some people capable of doing it, and they'll thrive in a world that everybody's trying to follow the rules. But
that's when karma comes into play. Karma get people back because guess what? Easy come, easy go. So if you ain't put no effort in to get it, you gonna blow it just that fast and be back on the corner. If you notice,
agreed.
If you look at people's trends, it's the same people begging all the time, the same people homeless all the time, the same people need all the time. It's because they keep trying to get by versus putting in the work. So like I said, I give from the heart. If I listen to your story and say, you know what, fuck it, today is the day you get $20. I give from the heart, and that's that. I don't overthink it, but I'm also selective in how I handle things as well.
That's how I am. I think I'm too. I look so. Maybe if I didn't know so much about certain people, because I got, when Corona was first hitting and shit, I got homegirls with salons, different things in their life. I sent money to. It ain't no big amount, go get a sandwich, some shit like that. I do competitions all the time with the first responders. I was doing it. I gave them money and stuff like that. Now, I don't want it to seem like I ain't no person that'll give. I give from my heart all the time. I give a homeless man. I done gave the coat off my back, literally, to homeless people. You feel me? In the middle of cold weather. You feel me? Outside just because they didn't have one. So I'm that type of person. With certain people, man, if I know that you're not also working towards your goal, why the fuck am I helping?
Yeah.
You trying to start a business. That's good. My homeboy did one the other day, and he wanted everybody to send some money out. His truck had broke down. It was his truck for his he has a car moving, a car tow truck type thing, the flatbeds with a bunch of cars, they ship them from one place to another. His truck has broke down. Me having family that do all that CDL stuff, I know that shit is expensive as fuck. No matter how much you got in life, if your truck breaks down, if you ain't no 100 air and got money stashed, that shit is expensive. So that was somebody I felt like I feel your struggle. You feel me? Like, hell yeah, let's give to that. That's a good cause. But it's certain people I can't help because I know what you are. I know what you do. And maybe it's not my motherfucking place, but look, I work too hard and I ain't no rich nigga. So I work hard for mine, and I need to know you working hard for yours before I could give to it if I know.
I agree. Plus, you're right there and you're in front of them. It's just like when you see somebody post something on social media and you know this person and they posting something that's not true. And it's just like, I thought I knew you. So it's like, you know them, and why would you?
Yeah.
It's a whole crazy world. I done took a picture for a female, and she posted that bitch right in front of me. I took the picture for her. She posted a picture right in front of me. I see it on her page. She don't look shit like the picture I just took. What did you just now do to create this person? And that's how people is on social media. They doing the same with their statuses and stuff. Like, you are not this person. Who the fuck are you lying for? We know you.
That's what I'm saying. So when you know.
Let me tell y'all, because I'm about to post, not today, but very soon, within the next 3 days, I'm gonna post asking for some money because my nonprofit this holiday season and my nonprofit, we feed 10 families at the end of the year, 5 for Thanksgiving, 5 for Christmas. So when I post my Cash App and I post my flyer, don't be sitting there looking at me crazy because I'm gonna need a couple of dollars. I need some turkey.
Nah, I fuck with the
I give.
positivity.
I
and the
love giving because
community.
I just know when I give,
Spotify.
that's just me doing something good. So
Yeah.
I
So
fuck with
I'm
all
good.
that.
I'm really
with all that.
excited though. So for the last
Also, some of the birthday things is too, Essence, not to cut you off. See, all right, so it falls back on so many different aspects because even some of the birthday things. So you got somebody like Essence who's showing that she gives a lot, and if you're an avid watcher of her pages, you would see what she gives, so you would know a part of that. So if Essence was to post, "Hey, it's my birthday, can I get $1 from everybody?" Why shouldn't you? See, you get what I'm saying? Like, you know that person gives back a lot, so hey, for return, I think it's okay then.
For $1 from everybody, like what? I don't know, but so y'all really see something wrong with people coming on there and say it's my birthday, hit my Cash App?
No, you can say
No,
I mean, not for you. Y'all are men. I don't know if men are on there doing it. I know men,
yes,
certain men take pride in, providing and hold stuff down. So
I don't even like birthday gifts. So
thank you. It's for me. Yeah, it's like I know. Like, why do I have to gift you for your birthday? Why am I don't have to do that. Like,
don't get me shit because then I gotta feel obligated to get you some shit. Fuck that. Keep your money. I keep my money. I don't want to do Christmases. Yes. I don't want to do none of that shit. The only way I like to give gifts on Christmas to like groups of people. Now, of course, you got your in-home stuff, but outside of my in-home, the only way I like to give gifts is if we do a fucking some slick shit like we got a $10 spending limit and you want to make it who could find the most interesting gift.
Right.
But don't do no extravagant shit because I can buy my own. Yeah, I can buy my own shoes. I can buy my own.
Then I gotta buy you something.
Yeah, and I gotta feel like our gifts match.
No. Then I can just buy myself what you got me. I can just do it for myself.
Exactly, and then write your name on the package. Well, we was talking. Essence was just now speaking of that energy, right? That's basically what you were saying about the energy that you put out there. Mm-hmm. And I was speaking with a homegirl the other day, right? And I've been on my, like I tell y'all every week, my chakra shit, and trying to get my inner Zen on and my Omarion on. Omarion is my hero.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't realized this episode, Omarion not give a fuckness is my.
That's how when you saw me coming together, you've been studying.
Exactly. So, I was speaking with a homegirl because I got a bunch of homegirls that like to tell me their craziness stories of dudes and shit. It was like the 100th time that she done told me about this bum ass dude she dealing with, XYZ. And I looked at her and I said, you ever think you might be the fucking problem? You attract bum ass dudes? And she caught an attitude with me and walked off. And I didn't understand because what my shit is telling me about energy is you kind of attract a certain type of energy as a human. Yes. So do y'all feel like your friends? Do y'all feel like your friends and your family match, like the people around you match the energy? Or do you be looking at the people around you like, what the fuck type signals am I sending out here? Sometimes I look at the people around me like, my signals all fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like people around me do, but I don't hold on to people. Like, I'm not friends with everybody that I've befriended my whole entire life. So the people around me now are still around me because they do match. Like, we do match as far as our mindsets, where we going and stuff like that. So I'm not still holding on to a bunch of dead weight.
So I've become, over the years, I've become extremely selective. So I actually removed all the people from my life, and it was just me. And then I started it, and this is years. This was not no 15 minutes. It took me years, and then I had to get me together, and then I started adding people that met me. And if it's to the point, I'll meet somebody now, and I'm like, I don't like you, and I'll turn around and walk away because now I know exactly what I can handle.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's family too, because some family.
That's good. That takes a lot of work because there's so many people that's trying to hold on to people that they need to let go because they've been friends for so long. You feel like you indebted to them, or I'm loyal, or I can't let you go. You gotta go.
You gotta go.
Ty.
You gotta grow.
Not putting nobody out though. But that's how.
Look, y'all know my friendships. My friendships.
Over there, what are you feeling like? We talking about you?
Look,
Yeah,
Ty got about
no.
500 friends.
My
Target.
friendships
Yes.
is wonderful. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why my friendships is wonderful. And me and Rachel was talking the other day what I sent to you about the I got friends that understand we're not gonna talk. I need you to accept I'm gonna what Ray said, disappear into my abyss of like it's
Yes.
just a black darkness. I'm gonna disappear on you, friend. If you really need me, you know how to get that bat signal to me. But
Right, send me the cash app. I can send you a
I
cash
don't
app.
I don't my little cousin
Give me
asked
a
me the other
dollar.
day, right? My little cousin asked me about one of my best friends the other day, right? Because I'm an introvert, so it's real crazy. My best friend, my little cousin asked me the other day about one of my best friends. He's like, "You don't never come around. Why?" Because I don't fucking like people. I mean, we still cool, but I don't really want to be around people. Like, we don't do the same things. I'm one of those people. I like to sit in my own. I've been on my own since 18. So it's like I like to sit in my own house. I get everything inside my house that I want. I got a call the other night. You feel me? It's like 12:30. So I answered that because my friends know not to call me at no motherfucking 12:30 at night. So I answered 12:30 in the morning. So I answered it. Yo, and it's some they in the club and shit. You feel me? He got a dude on the phone I ain't hear I ain't talked to in years. You feel me? And I was laughing. He like, man, he told me you like an old ass young man now. Yeah, I am. Like I don't go out. I'm and this isn't a relationship tie. This isn't a father tie because I don't really know too much tie without being a father because I had my child so young. But this is just tie. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a big party person. I did a lot of partying because I did music, so it's part of the promotion, it's part of being in the club scene, it's part of getting seen, shit like that. But I'm introverted, so yeah, I just need a friend to accept that. But I look at things like with my energy. Sometimes I do look at the people that are closest to me and be like, yeah, our energy just does not fucking match. And that's that self-evaluation shit that we was talking about. You know, I got to start looking at myself like, what the fuck am I sending out there that would make them think this is okay or this is something that I would like. You know,
but these are
like,
old people. These aren't like new people. You talking about like old people that been in your life?
I would just say just people in general. Just people around me in general. Certain shit, family, shit like that. You know, it'd be like, you know, I got family that'll say certain shit like, yo, we going out this way. Why the fuck would you say? Nigga, do you not know what's going on right now? Like, I didn't want to be with you at first because they might shoot at you. Now it's Corona and they might shoot at you. Yeah, like, you know, it's certain shit. You know, like my little brother, he would stop through. He know I'm not going to show up at too many events. He know I'm not going to be at the party with him and my other cousins and shit like that. It's just not something that I do. So, you know, I be needing people that respect that. But shit, energy wise, I know my energy.
Look, anybody that I might see at the supermarket and they might go into a different aisle, so I ain't got to talk to them. I damn sure don't want to go and just hang out with. It's just not going to happen.
This mask shit. Yes. Everybody is complaining about this mask and having to wear masks. I fucking love it. Ask Dante.
Nice.
Dante was on the phone with me the other day, right? And I said, I was mad as shit because the guy recognized me with my fucking mask and a hat on. I'm like, fuck. I'm standing right in front of him, right? I'm not going to open my mouth because my voice is very easy to catch. You feel me? Big guy with a little ass voice. So that would have brought, I'm quiet as shit. He like, Ty, how the fuck you know this me, man? Like, I started to ignore
really
his ass.
Introverted. You ain't trying to go incognito.
I ain't Ty.
Rachel, I probably
you are
seen
very
you
introverted.
I done walked down different. I done seen my aunts in aisles and turned around and walked down a different aisle. Yo, it's like the uncomfortableness. Sometimes I'm not in the mood. I ride past people, and I hate it too sometimes because
I do
you know, rest in peace, my aunt passed away last week. You know, and I clearly drove past her house a few times, and I hate that because I should have stopped. You feel me? That's when shit get to the point like, damn, you should have stopped. You feel me? Like
I feel you on that.
But it's sometimes, man, it's like that energy and being that person. I think my introvert is that a word? Introvertness comes from
introverted, your introverted ways.
Yeah, those comes from a place of I fucking get tired of being a strong friend sometimes. Like I don't want your energy sometimes. I don't want your problems. I don't want to know them. Like yeah, like it's like all right. It's like, why? Okay, how you
Yeah.
doing? Oh
They
man,
do
you
this
know
and
this,
other
that,
things.
another. Nigga, I got
Yes, and
problems
it's like,
too.
right, every time you
Yeah.
come around this person, it's a problem. And until we
It's
get
the
to a place where we can learn not to take on other people's stuff and to reserve our energy and still
Right.
be able to be around each other people, it just helps to be by yourself. It's almost like you're
yeah.
protecting your energy because I'm very stingy with my energy. But I went to pick my daughter up the other day and I'm like, from my mom's, I'm like, let me go in here because I do want to go straight home. I like being home, but then again, I do need to see people because, like you said, you just never know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you never know. And it's not going to hurt me to go in there for 10, 20 minutes. And I did. And then I went home.
Right.
And that's the one thing that I laugh about my father. Like my father would come over for the game, right? We'll watch the game and keep in mind, me and my father best friends, but a lot of my ways is from him because I watch him soon as the game. If he came there to watch the game, soon as the game over, he like, all right, I be watching like that.
Right.
He ain't doing no extra time. Like, nigga, all right, woo, time to get up out of here. Like,
I
you
know
know,
it's getting so late.
Exactly. That is
we
so
talk all
me.
day, but I get that shit from him. Like, man, if I came over your house for a specific thing,
I'm here.
I'm fucking leaving. Plus,
Right
people are
away,
so
go.
disappointing. I
Yeah.
think I got a problem now with making relationships because people are disappointing as shit, man. It's like, fuck, not you.
I surprise myself
Not you.
sometimes though. Like it's been times where I thought I would do the same thing your father did, and I actually got comfortable somewhere. It was like, this ain't too bad. Maybe I stay for a little while. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
a
And sometimes
lot
you
of
got to
times
say
I'm
that.
invited places, people are okay with me. Like come on over, come through. And for whatever reason, I'll like give in, and I may eventually do it. And I'm like, this ain't too bad. But most of the time, it's not better than my own house. I'd rather just be in my own house. Just give me my
Yes.
TV, my
I do
computer, my
too.
stuff.
That's how it is. And sometimes I feel like, but I'm going to become a recluse. Like, I don't want to, I still want to interact with people, but I do like my own space. Like, I
Yeah.
actually love being by myself, but I know I just don't want to, like, fall off the face of the earth. So I got to remind myself to interact.
Gotta remember, yeah, and that's a good thing to do. Remind yourself because we got to keep in mind life is so short and it's so precious. You feel me? And I look at certain things. Probably Dante realizing his 20s is gone. Like all of us has
Just
realized our
baby.
20s.
Look,
No, you feel me? Like real shit. All of us realize our 20s is gone. But Dante on why I pointed out him is because when we were talking about the kickbacks in the early 20s, the
Yeah.
reckless years of not
Yep.
giving a fuck. Now we all in
Mhm.
responsible years, and it's like fuck.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
shows that you used to watch because shows play a big part in our life. When you used to watch
Mhm.
Friends, you like, oh, I could still get a coffee crew.
Mhm.
You got
right.
girlfriends. You like, oh, I'm still at that age of I can have a clique of us that just click and we
Mhm.
do this. But
Right.
now we're literally at that age of responsibility, not being single no more, shit like that.
Mhm.
That flat line that you can't even give a lot of time to your friends if you had those friends.
Yeah.
So it's
Because you
like,
prioritizing.
right.
Yeah.
So now we're all at that age of fuck, like, and then if we wait another 10 years to step out of our comfort zones or the things that we prefer to do, the ones of us that is introverts, we're going to miss another gap of years that we can't get
Right.
back.
Yeah.
And so
If,
we're living
that,
together at a
Mhm.
senior citizen home.
Right.
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 And be talking about all of the shit that we wish that
We
we would
right
have
there in the
did. You feel me?
hall.
Yeah,
I tell
that's
my
why I
little
like to do
cousin all the
audits
time.
on what I really want to do. Like, do you really want to do this, or do you not want to do it?
Right. Right. That's important. That's
Yeah.
important. That's important. So, how much of an impact do y'all think parents, your parents, because I was speaking of my father and stuff, how much do you think, how much of an impact does your parents' parenting or lack of parenting affect you as a parent with your own children? Man, that was
Oh,
a tongue twister.
100%.
Y'all heard
Lord
that
have
shit?
Yeah, that's
mercy.
100%.
I
That's
think a lot
deep.
of stuff.
You,
That's a lot.
I think a lot of stuff comes back as instinct to whatever makes you mad. You know what I mean? You see your kid do something, and what makes you mad, what makes you praise them, what makes you proud of them. I mean, I guess in a way, when you're trying to figure something out, I think that's when it kicks in. But your instinct on some of it is just like who you are. When you see them write for the first time or remember something that you told them, and then they bring it back to you, like, and the little attitude that they have, because they all individuals with their own
mm-hmm.
personalities, and when they say stuff a certain way, it's like, I don't know how much my mother's raising me had to do with my parents, and until I'm taking my time talking about it and thinking about it. But like my
Mhm.
reflexes, I don't know. I don't think it's so much from my parents.
I know for me, there are some things that I'll catch myself saying or doing, and I'll sound just like my mother. And I make it a point to call her like, "Ma, guess what I just said?" Because when you're the child, you have a problem with your parents' parenting, right? Naturally.
Yeah.
And then when you become the parent, you're like, they might have meant such and such, or they didn't mean harm. You know what I mean? You start to understand where they were coming from in certain areas. Not with stuff like, because I said so, not stuff like that, but just certain things you set in place. Like, yes, you start
Right.
reminding yourself that, hey, mommy may have known a little bit. She might have been on point with something. So.
Yeah, I had to unlearn a lot of things my mother did and didn't do when it came to parenting because it was showing up, and so I had to unlearn a lot. So it definitely has an effect even to this day when I do certain things and I'm talking like her and I'm sounding like her. It's a lot that I had to unlearn. So it definitely has a big effect.
Rachel, you be saying some good stuff. So, like how you said, unlearn. That's really important. People don't realize that you have to reverse your mind back to day one and then relearn things. Yeah, it's a lot. You be saying
you do. It's a lot. It's a lot because when my mom, she was like unlearning, but she was like extremely emotionally unavailable. So love is just not something that I ever knew to do. Being close, that's just not something. So I had to learn to do that with my daughter. Like when I had her, they handed her to me in the hospital and I just handed her off because that closeness, even though I watched, the little shows coming up to it and the mothers were so happy. And when she turned like 2, I had to start telling her like, I love you. I love you. Not because I knew what love was or what it felt like, because I didn't want her to, be where I was. Right. So I just had to fake it, until it became real. So I had to unlearn all of that emotional unavailability with my child and she is so emotional and sensitive. So I definitely had to unlearn all of that.
That is so important. That's important.
That's funny because how opposite, like it's like sort of that thing that you get hit with the thing that you weren't,
Yes.
So that makes it dope, but that helps for your growth with as long as you're willing to do it. I mean, but the willingness to do it is very important. You feel me? And like she said, the unlearn was very important. But back to what Dante said, it becomes reflex. It becomes things that, how do you go back to the day one if day one consists of everything that you watch? Our what's those skills called? Cognitive skills all come from the things that we seen. It's the things that we, even before we could talk, we seen them. So we created. I remember saying my son, y'all got to watch the YouTube, but to see what I just did, but the hand gestures and all of that shit, you feel me? Before he could even form words, but that's something that he's seen. That's the emotion that he's seen, and I think my parenting, I do a lot of the unlearning things because my goal has always been to be competitive with my father. So I wanted to have a house before the age my father got his first house. I wanted to, I was a father younger than him, so I did things a little bit younger anyway. And I moved out way before him because of different things, but it's always been a competition with us. But his parenting and my mom's parenting, it definitely played a big part on how I parent. And sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I'll be looking at that shit like, fuck, man. Man, damn, this is one of those things, you feel me? Like that it's not something that I enjoy, and then learning more. Because we're learning more about parenting now. My I'm gonna say I got 3 children. And I have been, I'm gonna say 2 different fathers. My oldest is 16. So 16 years ago, me at, a 20-year-old child, a 19-year-old kid, whatever, I was totally different than I am as for the last 2 boys, because those 2 boys are getting a more mature father. He knows more, he studies more, and it's more than love here. With my oldest, it was always love there, but it wasn't necessarily the structure it should have been. It wasn't necessarily being there for things, the way that it should have been. You dig what I'm saying? And we learn things, we grow. So while you're also trying to unlearn, you're learning and you're replacing those things that and we all got shit with our children that we wish that we could do over. Like I got some do-over moments but I think that my parents definitely impacted me in more ways than they probably know. My father, I grew up with my pops. You feel me? Um, Fathers teach you to be a man. It's real. It's real tough, and it's real. You don't say much. Me and my father talk now on some very sensitive shit, and we've been doing that as adults. Maybe it's the
That's
liquor. I
good.
don't know.
That's good.
But we're able to reach those certain points. But growing up, he's teaching you to be strong, teaching you to be a man. So I do a lot of kissing on my boys. I got 3 boys. I do a lot of kissing.
That's good.
I do. Fuck, I'm gonna kiss you until you say don't kiss you no more.
Yeah.
I don't give a.
Then.
Yeah,
Right.
like.
You won't
Well,
get
the mother
this love.
could keep going.
Yeah.
The mother could keep going with the kisses. You feel me? The boy, the boy is a little bit hard for men. Like you can't really keep going because they at that point of they got little girlfriends and shit like that. But you still gonna always get this hug. You still, I'm very.
That's right.
Even with the ass whoopings, you feel me? When they get beatings, they always have the opportunity after I handle what I gotta handle that business for that ass whooping to come back and we talk. And we discuss what's going on because I never had those lines of communication with my parents. You could, what the fuck? We grew up in an era of do as I say, not as I do as I say, not as I do.
So that's a lot to unlearn, and that's why we've had so much to unlearn because of the dysfunctional way. It's basically like we were being bullied as children.
Yes.
But
big time bullying going on.
Discipline should come with information. So it shouldn't just be because I said so, and you get popped, and then you walk out, and then y'all never talk about it again. Because then they have to formulate a reason, the way that they think about things as to why they got hit, if they should have got hit, all of that stuff.
Right.
So talking about it afterwards does help to say, but I do think at the same time, discipline should be like fire. If you touch the stove that you're not supposed to touch, you get burned. You can't negotiate it. You can't talk your way. You say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." It doesn't matter. Your fingers still hurt. And that's the thing. It's like discipline should be, I do not go in that room. Do not mess with this. Don't move that. And if they do it, then it should be some type of punishment. And it should be, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be, okay, well, I'm going to let it go this time. Because if so many of those let it goes mean they'd have done it how many times you caught them, and they done it how many times you didn't catch them. So then after the 15 times they get popped again, the odds start making sense that it's worth doing it. If they taking cookies out of the cookie jar or taking money out your purse, it's okay to do it because you only get in trouble every once in a while.
Also learning,
and I definitely think you can go ahead, sir.
Also learning what needs to be explained. Sometimes it's no need. Kids got the why all the time anyway.
Right.
Certain whys is not going to get a fucking response from me. But certain whys need a response, or you need to implement why I'm telling you this, because we also have to keep in mind when you're teaching children, you don't want to teach them not to do what I don't want you to do when I'm watching you. You want to teach them, you're not doing this because of this.
Trust.
It has nothing to do with me. It's a you thing. It's a safety thing. This is how things are done. You feel me? The structuring of the molding of building a child. You feel me? It's the molding of them, and you're creating that. You're creating that because it's important. You're creating those lines of communication with your children. Like I said, I think those one of the things that has affected me the most is never having a line of communication. And that's how I started music. Well, I started R&B and poetry and all of that stuff off of not having a line of communication directly to my parents. I wrote many and many of letters to my parents, just expressing my feelings, but coming up with a man who also never had a father. So him not having a father, he's going to teach you what he needs you to know to be a man. And he taught me that shit well, how to be a man. And I'm not going to say a lot, majority of my principles come from him. But my father tells me all the time, I'm a better father than he ever been. And
that's important.
And
your father's a great man for saying that.
Yes, he is. Yeah. That's good.
And that's what I want my children to be. I want them to come up and be a better father than me, because I'd be a fucking lie if I act like I ain't making mistakes. I'm making mistakes every day. Every time I scream at my children, I hate it. I'm probably never going to stop.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. No, I definitely want to work on stopping, because I know I didn't like it when my mother talked to me like that. And I know that you don't have to scream to get your point across. I don't think you don't have. No, I mean, we scream because we're frustrated. But screaming doesn't help, because if I'm screaming at her and she's feeling overwhelmed because I'm screaming at her, she's not able to take in what it is that's really going on in the moment. So I definitely want us to get to the point where we can talk Well, we already had work to get there, but like what Dante was saying is, we definitely should talk to them about why they shouldn't do it and give them a place to communicate, because it's so many of us that don't know how to express ourselves because it was always shut up, just do what I told you to do. You can't ever say anything. So now we don't even know how to express how we feeling when something is going on. And you always want to give your children like a mental toolbox on, you know, what you did, why it's wrong now. Like I tell my daughter, I'm telling you why it's wrong now. You can go ahead and do what you want to do in life. That's your life.
Right.
I already laid the blueprint down, and each time you do it, you going. That's what it's going to be.
Right.
And be willing to accept those. That's what I do with my oldest.
That's what I tell her.
Accept those consequences. If you already know what the situation is, it's the same thing on, you know, aspect of streets and shit like that. People get locked. Look, you gotta sit down and take that time, G. This is what life is. You are at them ages. Once they get to them ages of understanding that you have consequences to every action, and you got to be willing to accept them, good or bad. It's like jumping in a fight. It's a chance that you're gonna get knocked the fuck out. Long as you can accept waking up on that carpet, being on that cement, go for it. Go head first in it. You feel me? But if you ain't willing to wake your ass up on that cement and wonder what the fuck just happened, you should not be in this fight.
That's exactly what I tell her. Do what you want to do, but take accountability for everything. Stick your chest out when you accepted your accountability with the same way you stuck your chest out when you was doing it, but don't do it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about intentions. You know, if a child has an intention to mislead you, you know what I mean? So they're going to go and sneak to do something. So like you see them get ready to do something, you know, they don't think you're paying attention. They look around to see if you look. That's when you got something you need to immediately handle, and it comes out harsher, because that's them making the decision to lie to you, to deceive you, to get over on you, you know, stuff like that. When it's literally just them doing something they should know not to do, but maybe they weren't paying attention. I think we should handle it a little differently. But it's like the idea of weighing consequences is good, but hopefully it comes later, because the most time they shouldn't weigh them. Like they shouldn't be like, oh, it's worth a beating for me to eat this cookie. No, you don't eat the goddamn cookies. You keep your hands off of them. You know, it's like I don't want them.
Yeah, but
I never wanted my daughter making decisions to see if the punishment was worth it, until it was later and she's old enough to where I'm comfortable with her making decisions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at that shit like I be respecting it from a point. My fault, right?
No, I mean, I'm just gonna say it's for like, no, you don't want to be like, oh, you know, do I want to go to jail for killing somebody or not? Like, you don't want to do that, but you definitely need to know that whatever you do, you're going to have to pay a consequence for it. Like, you're going to have to pay a consequence for it, and that's just. And we're human, so like, even when they do something sneaky, like I'll get upset with my daughter. Then I gotta remember I was sneaky times 3,000. Like, she don't have nothing on me, and we're human, and all of us do things that we're not supposed to do. So they aren't going to be perfect. They aren't going to always make the best decisions. There are going to be consequences they have to deal with, and that's going to be life. But you're going to know that when you do something that you're not supposed to do, it comes with a consequence.
Yes.
I think a lot of us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I like all that y'all are saying. So my son is 4, so I'm getting my feet wet in this. So I don't have the experience that y'all have in parenting, but I'm loving all of this, because I really agree. If you want to be sneaky and do something, eat your consequence. I ain't gonna be. I would trip less because you made that decision. I'm gonna let you live with it. Now look at you.
Yeah, you gotta live with it.
This is what you did, so this is what you gotta worry about. I'm less likely.
I love those learning moments. You know, I constantly. With my 5-year-old, I constantly say, now you see, I love it when they come back. It's sort of like, you ever be like, it's a joyful moment when he scrapes his knee. And it's crazy that I'm happy that he just scraped his knee, but I needed him to scrape his knee to understand why the hell I keep telling you not to run right there.
Yes.
Like, I needed you to scrape your knee. I didn't need nothing big to happen to you. Right. I just needed you to see enough little scraping blood to scare you and make you understand the importance. And then let you know that this is not it could get worse. Like, it could have been worse. You're getting, this was just a teaching moment. Daddy. You know, so, but I have those moments, you know, that I catch myself trying to scare me out of my kids.
Right.
Or, you know, and that's a fucked up part as a parent, because it's like, I hate that part, because it's like, you mad at him for being you. That's and it's your father too. So it's obviously and I don't know how true this is, but it's obviously genetically something that just runs through y'all to make y'all kind of move this way.
Does that mean let it go? See, I think that's what.
No, definitely don't let it go.
Not let it go, but not to be so hard on it.
Yeah.
You know, you take certain things scare me with my children because I know what they did to me. I know how
that means you coming from a place of fear.
Yeah.
But
and then when you parenting from a place of fear, you really gonna be on it like, don't do this. And it's really because I've been through it. It's like I really don't have to come at it like that. I should just be teaching you from a place where you can learn instead of be like, this happened to me and I don't want you to do it. Because that's how I was doing my daughter. And we are very, like, we had communication. She had to tell me, like, you know, Mommy, you are really hard on me because of how you live, but I'm not going to do everything you did. Like, you know, you can tell me, but it's like, I really be trying to, like, jump in front of a truck and it's not a truck there.
Told you chill the hell out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like, even a truck there yet.
I can teach her without making it seem like she's in the situation because she's not me. Like, she's not me.
Oh, that's important.
So if you got one generation that, let's say, they work hard, they got whatever discipline they got, they come out in a strict way. They may not be happy with everything that happened to them, but they came out okay, but they got some regrets. So then the next generation, they want to make it easier for their kids. So maybe they're more financially stable, maybe they're more generous, they're more loving, they're more expressive. So the kids come out slightly differently. And because they maybe didn't have to struggle as much, they are different people. All right. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but because the parents wanted to avoid what they learned or what they went through, they take it a little easier on the next generation. So then if that follows, you can extrapolate that they're going to then be easier on their kids. So at some point you wind up with maybe another generation that's softer, less disciplined, and then the cycle goes all over again. Because at some point, somebody got to struggle again. Somebody got to teach those hard lessons and work and be a little more strict. Not just because that's who they are, but because is the time and it could calls for it. Like it's too much. Everybody's too lax. So it's like I always wonder when somebody says, "Well, I don't want to get on my son or my daughter because I was like that too." Well, yeah, but some of these things got to be stopped. And I'm not saying you saying that like, you know, you let anything go. But I mean, some of these things, these traits that, yeah, they may come from us, but they still need the same amount of discipline applied to them, the same type of parenting applied to them in order for you to overcome those. Because those things are like controls. Like sometimes kids get excited. They want to do something, they get rambunctious, and they're not thinking about the rules. Like they completely push everything their mother and parents told them to do out because they want to go get this thing. They want to do that thing. They go chase that ball in the street. And you got to be the one to say, no, when you get like, you got to know, do not do this. And you got to find a way to instill in them that control to say, okay, overcome this desire because it's harmful.
See, here's the thing. I like struggle. And here, let me explain that. When everything I have, I've worked and earned. So I appreciate all that I have. From my education I paid for myself, the cell phone I use, the computer I'm on right now, the house I live in, I worked, I sacrificed, I saved, I fucked up, I rebuilt. I did it by myself. So I want my son to understand hard work and appreciation, but I want him to know that I got your back. That don't mean go fuck up at the casino, I'm gonna pay your mortgage or your rent. I'm not doing that. But at the same time, if you're going through a really tough time and you need to rebound, you need to vent, talk, whatever, I'm here. I'm your parent. I'm here. I got you. But I want kids to work. I don't like when parents say, you know, I bought him a car so he ain't had to catch the bus. Let that little nigga catch the bus. I caught the bus and I realized I ain't like the bus. And I bought a car and realized I need to invest in a real car.
My daughter is not, y'all. We are totally different because my daughter is not getting on the bus.
That's the
funny
thing. I made sure my daughter caught the bus because I wanted her to work hard.
She's not, because I feel like I just, go ahead, sir.
No, you good.
No, I was just saying, like, I feel like with myself and like with a lot of us, we come from struggle. That's what we know. Like, we have to struggle in order to make it. And you feel good in that struggle because it's like, I'm the underdog. I know in my life and I came up and nobody did it but me. But if I had it to be another way, I wouldn't choose that. Because that struggle brings about, like, it doesn't have to be that way. She doesn't have to get on the bus. She doesn't have to experience waiting on the bus in order to appreciate a car. Like, we don't have to struggle, but we just so used to struggling.
My shit is more of, I'm going to take you on the bus. and I'm gonna show you the bus so that if all else fails, you know how to utilize the bus. But my goal is to give you more than I had.
Yeah.
And if that means, all right, so I get y'all with the car, 16, you want to teach them work ethic and things of that sort. Me, I'm totally against kids working. I don't like
We
it.
had this conversation.
My daughter's
100%.
had at least 5, 6 jobs. I mean,
I'm
she's
against
I'm
it.
totally against it. And I'm also against
it.
a lot of things that we do to our children, like Essence just said, she saved up for our first home and things of that sort, and more than likely, like all of us did, because all of us are sitting in the comforts of our own home. And we all did that because we had to, not because we wanted to. So I look at these people from different, I think we had this conversation and y'all was like the numbers was off or whatever, but I do see other races that handles this different. Their children are in the house to a certain age. We come from a place that as soon as you turn 18, as soon as you finish school,
go.
they want rent. Or you gotta go, and it's like,
or you gotta go.
Terrible.
Why the fuck am I
you
paying
gotta go
rent?
too
Like,
much.
Me and my stepmom used to get into it, and I love her to death. But it's like we used to get on some you had to pay this amount of money, and it wasn't no big amount of money, but it was still like, if I gotta pay money, why not just go get my own shit and have everything that I can? You feel me? I can't walk around here and I can't have females in here still, even if I'm only paying you $100 a month. You still don't. I don't have freedom in here.
Even
so
though
why
it's
am I paying you? And
financially
it's
still
like
a good idea. It's I understand that it puts a kid in a it puts a kid in a moment that's like, wait a minute, then if I got to do all of this, like you just said,
I might as well tax myself for extra $400 and be able to shake off like I want.
Right.
But you can't afford it.
But I
and
can't
then you
afford,
go out there and you try to afford it.
And you spend the next
and then you
fucking
struggle.
20 years catching up.
Struggle, exactly. And that's
Like,
why I'm not a fan of the struggle. Because like then you go out there and then you're 18 trying to work and then you're trying to save money. And then you're 18. So you mean to tell me just at 17 I wasn't wise enough to do this.
And
but at 18 I'm supposed to get a job, save money, pay bills.
All before you could drink. You can't even drink. You're not even responsible enough. You're not even responsible enough to drink liquor. But at that age, I was a single father in my own place. They was allowing us to fuck our shit up. And me just so happens that I ended up still having great fucking credit. But reality is my struggle, it was a lot to how much I work now. And it also plays a part on the man I am now. And I don't know if I fully like that man all the time because of that struggle. That struggle has created a man that I look at shit a little different than other people. You feel me? Like, watch that wall. Like, I'm on it because I bust my ass to get that wall put up. You feel me? That everything means a lot. You feel me? We lived in a household where you had to heat your water up on a stove. You had to carry it upstairs in a bucket and put it in the bathtub. You feel me? When you were finished that bathtub, you had to get another bucket to scrape it out the bathtub and put it in the toilet. You had to leave water inside of a bucket next to the toilet because after you finished using it, you had to pour that water in there to make the toilet flush. You had to get your buckets ready and prepare. It was before you knew what the forecast was just from your phone. You had to prepare. If you smell rain, you better put them fucking buckets underneath that roof so that you could catch that water dripping or your whole house going to end up wet. And again, I love my struggle.
Yeah.
I love it. It created strength. It created a purity. It created something in me, but I don't want to give that struggle to my children.
No.
I don't, it's not necessary.
Not at all. It's not necessary. It's totally not necessary at all. I hate my struggle. I used to love it, but that's because that was my identity. I had to find myself outside of who I was when I didn't have anybody, when I was going from house to house, when when I got put out of this place, and I got this car by myself, when this car got towed, when this apartment was about to get evicted. That's who I was, but that's not my identity. So I actually hate my struggle, and we don't have to struggle to be anywhere. My daughter's not struggling. I'm teaching her how to work smart.
Well, that's a different thing. Like, I don't of the struggles that I've had, I don't need my son to relive every experience that I've had. And he's not going to, because he don't have the parenting that I had. I come from drug addict parents. He don't come from that. So his stories are going to be a little bit different. But when it comes to work ethic, responsibility, appreciation, I want him to work for what he has. So I work with young people now and I have for a while, I meet a lot of young people who have no work ethic. Like I know a young person very close to me. He was not allowed to work through high school. After high school, he was put in a position to go to college. He got his first job. His first job, he was 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20, and he's starting from scratch. So it's like I'm 23 now. I got to learn work ethic. Well, you got people who've been working
Right.
for 10 years
He hadn't had
already.
any adversity, very little
Right.
diversity.
Yes.
And
It's funny because I love it.
Well, the thing is,
I
Ty, hold on. The thing is, you love it, but society doesn't. And what this
right.
young man is experiencing right now, he's falling behind because he's 3 years in to someone who's 10 years in. So young people are coming in and they got work ethic. They know this. They know they got a full resume by the time they're 25, and he
Right.
don't have those things. Even though he has a college degree, he's not making strides at his age. So fast forward now, he's 27. He has a job, but now he's 27, so he has bills, right? And it's a different kind of smack in the face. He doesn't know how to, and it's a lot of missing things. So I think working young sets a different
I
precedent.
think we fail to fill in the voids that need to be filled in when we don't. All right, so when I say I don't want them working young, it doesn't mean they don't work.
Yeah.
It's you still need to be what is it called? Feeding into them.
Right.
You still need to be teaching them. They should still be doing internships certain places.
Okay.
They should still be thinking about, we're just not worrying about you making money. You're doing
Okay.
all
I
things
get
that's
it.
going to
I get it.
create a better human. You feel me? Like, yo, it was McDonald's did nothing for me.
Right. Nothing at all.
It did nothing for me. And it's not a shot
Yeah,
at
it's a
people that work
party
at
with
McDonald's.
Right.
I fucking shot around Big Mac sauce guns at my coworkers.
Right.
Like, it
Yeah,
created nothing
exactly.
but a time of how much money is this check, how many hours to get this amount, and then what to go spend this on. It didn't create anything other than bullshit.
So
Where
you're not saying
I'd rather
work. You want
And
more
an
strategic paths, like you said.
yeah, I need
Yes.
you to.
Realistic
I want you to do some
opportunity.
shit that
Got it.
this isn't. You don't have a
You
set
definitely gotta be
schedule.
strategic.
You don't have a set schedule. You don't have to do certain things. But look, I need you to let's start investing in our kids on some. Hey, I'm gonna give you this $500.
Okay. Yes.
That's
Make that shit
exactly
work.
how I do with my
Listen,
daughter.
let's start
That's
a
exactly
business.
how we
All
do
of our
it.
children. I tell all my kids this all the time. If you look at my youngest, they got YouTube pages. They got things to that. My little cousin does him and my oldest like the video gaming and shit like that. Make money. Make it work for you. I'll be your biggest supporter.
Exactly.
I'll be
exactly
your
what I
biggest
be on
supporter.
time.
And daddy, I went out and got all the podcast stuff that I needed to be able to do podcasts. Lord knows I didn't know that we were going to fucking end up in Corona and none of this shit was going to be able to be utilized. But I went out and got all that shit. Imagine and I'm cheap. Imagine what I'll do for my kid. I'll fucking put the house up for your dream.
Right.
Let's go. I'm all in. Like I'm trying to create little Michael Jackson or some shit. Like, and I'm not forcing you to do it like Joe did it. I'm on some shit on. You show me what you like. I'm all into it.
Exactly.
I'm
That's
all
what I tell her.
with it. So
Yes.
I want the kids.
Whatever
I
you
think
want to do.
at 13, 14, I think that they shouldn't be learning how to strategically get enough hours in at work to get a certain amount of money to be able to buy certain things. Because the first time you get a job, what did your parents start saying? Oh, you could buy your own school clothes now.
Which I
the
hate.
fuck do you mean? Like,
a whole entire struggle. A whole entire struggle.
And I know Rachel said that she hates hers, and I know a lot of people that hate their struggle.
Mm.
The only reason why I'm in love with my struggle reminds me of happier times.
Mm.
Being broke or less fortunate, and it was times that we had a lot of, I was still doing better than my friends and things of that sort, and it was times that I wasn't. I got brought up between two households when I was younger. In one household was a mother that was addicted to drugs and stuff. And every household I went into had different levels of what they had. You feel me? But the struggle it consisted of a happier time because love exists inside struggle way more than it exists outside of struggle, and I hate that fact. To me, because that's a fact that I've seen inside my life, but I just really see like, the families that had to sleep 4 in the bed, the families that had to share certain foods and all wake up. I don't know how many people had to wait for spoons to get clean before they can eat and shit like that. Like those knit, the family was closer. If you think about now, families aren't close because families no longer need each other on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that's, in my opinion, that's not why we're not close. It's just social media. Like, look, social media. And social media, we don't have to be around
social media
anymore.
that's one of the reasons they don't need each other.
I don't need to. We don't even have to do this part. Right.
You realize, like, I think we come from now without that struggle together, and people being on different levels in life. Some of us are doing better than our cousins. Some of us
satisfied. So
yeah, some of us are doing better than our cousins. That the cousins now look at you on some shit of, oh, you think you better.
Right.
No, you think I'm better. I'm still the same old struggle out this motherfucker.
It's not about you thinking I'm better. It's clear that we're different. And
I used to spend a lot of time trying to prove that I didn't think I was better than people. Then it was.
It's
then
like,
I got
forget
to the
it,
point
because
like,
they're gonna think what they want anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not.
But I feel like social media it creates a barrier, because it's like, back then people are still struggling. People are struggling even worse now because their mental health is challenged, because we are so separate. So before, when we all were in this house, sleeping in this bed, struggling, now I'm over here, you over here, I'm depressed because I don't have any interaction. I don't have anybody that I can really, really talk to and have that intimate conversation about how I'm feeling, like we all would do in the house together when we all were struggling.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think without the struggle,
the house by myself.
And
we're gonna have
in the house by yourself, just drowning, struggling.
Without the struggle, though, I think
struggling too.
I think we're gonna have a lot of incest families in the near future.
I don't want that.
I'm telling you, it's going to be. Nobody knows their cousins no more. Nobody knows everything.
But that is so true. People do not get to. I was literally just thinking about that. Like, coming up, we all would be at my grandmother's house.
Yeah, it don't exist no more.
During the week, you do not, and that's why. Yeah.
Oh,
and people don't.
We still live like that. So
that's good.
Yesterday, what is it? So yesterday I went to my grandmother's house. Friday, went to my grandmother's house to spend time with my grandmother, because why not, right? So I take my son down there. I can do my work because he gonna be upstairs with her eating candy and shit that I don't want him to have. Because that's how it is at Granny's house.
That's always how it is.
Right.
Yeah. So that's happening. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm getting ready to leave. I text my husband, hey babe, I'm about to swing past Chick-fil-A. You want something on my way home? He like, yeah, give me a number one, da da da. All right, bet. I get to the door. My cousin walking with her 4 boys, because one is an infant. Walking with her 4 boys. She said, oh, don't leave yet. Stay here until, because they about to go with their father. He about to come pick them up. All right, bet. So we sitting there chopping it up with her. Her boys leave. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. My other cousin walk in with her 3 kids. So I'm like, shit, I ain't gonna never get out of here. That happened. My dad pull up. My cousin stopped by. I end up sitting there for about 5 hours, and that's what we do. So
that's good.
I miss those times.
Yes, I miss those times.
All I hear is that I can't be around Essex for 10 to 14 days.
That's out there living her best life.
Right. Me being an introvert, the fucked up part.
200 people at a Trump rally. That's what I heard.
The fucked up part about it is, I want those days and I miss those days. But I'm so stuck in my introvert.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't get out of it. This makes it worse.
Yo, it's like I want to be around my. Yo, I'm stuck in these ways, man, and I guess the unlearn goes beyond just our children. It goes back to us, because although we got certain bad impacts and good impacts off of how our parents parented us, we also saw some good things, and we lost a lot of things, I think, inside of the community, inside of the families.
The community.
Still has
we are missing community.
Yeah,
I'm jealous. That is amazing. That's how it used to be back in the days. One person coming with the kids, somebody else coming with the kids, and
it stopped. Maybe it starts back.
I'm getting my gun. I
don't even know if it's going to start back, because I really feel bad for our kids, because it's like, even with them, when we used to be around our friends, we didn't have phones like that, so we really attacked it. Even with them, when they're around each other.
And they only communicate on PlayStation now anyway, so it's like they were doing that beforehand, where you could barely get a kid to go out the house. Like, they're not building clubhouses and climbing trees.
Well, maybe where we fall at in the generational. So, all right, Big Mama is gone, you know?
Right.
And once Big Mama leaves, no longer the kids have to come to Big Mama, which used to draw the grandkids to Big Mama, which drew the great grandkids, which had that all meetup spot that Rachel was speaking of, right? Was that Big Mama house. once Big Mama goes, now you got the 3 sisters, for instance, and the 2 brothers. For instance, everybody have their own family and they got to become Big Mama. So if the generation, we could start it back. If we all play that generational Big Mama, because we're getting at that age of Big Mama, Big Daddy. I see you looking at me, Tay, like, nigga, I'm not about to be Big Mama.
Who gonna come on your house, touching your walls and walking on your floors? Why are you walking in the same place? You gonna start
you would think
I
have like an immaculate clean house. I don't have no immaculate clean house. It's just
don't touch my walls.
I know where the scrape is at. So if the scrape is on that wall, I gotta fucking tell you, I remember the scrape is on that wall. But listen, I want to say, I really appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for being on here. We are at our time for today. This was episode number 18. I thank all my listeners for coming through, stopping through, listening to us on whatever platform it is that you listen to us on, whether it is Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, iPod, wherever the hell you're listening to us at. I hope that you continue. Make sure you subscribe so that you can get all the updates for our newest shows. And make sure you look at us on YouTube and follow that, because we also have a lot of things going on in there. Keep in mind, we also have a competition for a free cash giveaway right now. Make sure you join into that. I want to thank my co-hosts today, Miss Essence, Miss Rachel, and Mr. Dante for coming through.
Yeah.
Rach, I want to send you off with well wishes, because I know you're right now about to start chasing continue to focus more on your very, 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 very big dreams. And I know that you will be successful at those. I know we're going to get you back on here real soon, but
yes, this is a good conversation. I'm definitely going to come back.
Yo, I know the fans going to want to know, if they don't see you next week, where they can actually hear from you at. You got a business page. Make sure they get that, Rach, because I want to make sure that you getting that promotion out there too.
It's 4_ Rachel K, RACHELK 4_. That's where you can find me on Instagram and Twitter.
Cool. To our listeners, we thank y'all for listening and have a blessed week. Peace.